Hello there. So I am back with another video, and today I'm actually about to go out with my lover for dinner, and I wanted to do a quick little chit chat before I go out. I feel like I need to talk to you guys. Okay, so I'm all cozy and I have my iPhone and I'm ready to answer a few questions that I've gotten on social media, Facebook, my personal Facebook page, and YouTube. I get lots of questions. So guys, please forgive me if you've asked me a question and I haven't answered it yet. I will respond to all of you guys. Just give me a little bit more time. I'm working on it. So when you see me looking down, I'm actually looking at my iPhone. I have the questions here. So let's get started. Oh, and let me just tell you guys a little bit about today before we get started. It is raining out. I'm home. I'm feeling really cozy and really, I don't know, excited about this video and excited about everything. So let's get started. Number one, what is a typical work day like for you? So in a nutshell, for me, I go to the clinic. I try to go a little bit early so that I can look at my morning session and just know how many patients am I going to see this morning. And then I like to go through each patient, read one or two of the previous notes from the last time they came, look at their diagnosis and the medications they're on, and then we have an ECW, which is the system we use at my place of employment. We have a little, at the top, we have a little notepad that you can type on and put notes. So I like to put things that will be needed during this exam that I don't want to forget. So if I have a 51-year-old lady who's coming in, I may put some notes at the top. Needs a referral for a mammogram, needs a referral for a colonoscopy, because sometimes when the patients get started with their complaints and what's going on in their life, you get pulled into that and you completely forget everything you planned on doing, and they leave and you think, well, darn it, I forgot to order the mammogram. One of the nurse practitioners that I work with was telling me that that's what she does, and when I started doing it, it helped so much. So I do that, just try to familiarize myself with the patients I'm going to see for the morning, and it also just helps you to know how many patients you're going to see. We do squeeze walk-ins in between those patients, but for walk-ins, there's really, you just take them as they come, basically. So after the morning session, I have lunch, and while I'm eating, I like to try to catch up on notes. I like to call a few patients that I need to call. I like to give some things for my nurse to do, as far as calling some patients that had normal labs or some patients that had abnormal labs, but there's nothing, someone with a low vitamin D and I'm going to start them on vitamin D, I will probably give that to my nurse. So over this past year, I've really learned to delegate. And at the very beginning of my career, that was hard for me because I'm a person that just kind of likes to do as much for myself as I can. I've always been that way, but I am learning to use my nurses. That's what they're there for. A lot of the things I forward to the nurse are normal labs. Can you please just call this patient and let her know her pap was normal, and let her know all of her labs were normal, and I'll list the labs. So it depends on how you want to practice, what you feel comfortable allowing your nurse to handle. But just, as a new nurse practitioner, I would just advise other new NPs, because I'm sure seasoned NPs already have their way of doing things, but for us, utilize your nurses and your resources and learn to delegate. It's going to make your life a lot easier. So having my lunch and then calling a few patients and then sending some things to my nurse to do. And then after lunch is the afternoon session. So I do the same thing I did in the same thing as in the morning. After that, the day is pretty much over. I'm pretty sure I'm leaving out a lot of things in between, because when you're seeing patients and you're going from room to room, there's a lot of action going on. I've got my phone, I'm looking things up if I need to. So yeah, so in a nutshell, a really quick rundown, that's kind of sort of what my day is like. Maybe I'll do a video to be a little bit more detailed about it, but that's a little like outline of it. So let's keep going. Question number 2, advice for new NP students. Basically, everything you're learning when you first start NP school, everything's so fresh and new, and you're excited, but yet you're scared too. You're like a deer in the headlights, and you know, everything is making you nervous. I would just say that those first few classes when you first start the NP program, pathophysiology, pharmacology, ethics, all of those. Whoa, there's a storm outside and the lights were about to go off. Okay, let's get back to the video. So as a new NP, I would just advise you guys to really pay attention to what you're learning and really give all you have to understand the things you're learning in pharmacology and advanced patho and ethics. Those things are a foundation that you're going to build on for the rest of the program. And when you get out of school and everything, you will definitely be relying on the things you learn. So there are no unimportant classes, and I guess that's what I'm trying to say. A lot of the time that I spent in the program, I did not look at the news and listen to music and hang out and stuff as much as I used to, because I was busy. And I feel like while you're in the program, it's gonna just take up most of your life. And that's just how it's gonna be, a sacrifice. And so I say, enjoy the journey, take your time, understand everything. Don't just learn things in order to pass tests, because that's going to come back to haunt you. You need this information to safely take care of patients. So moving forward, number 3, loan repayments. That is another video. I could talk forever about that. I guess in a nutshell, I'm going to say that working for a federally qualified health center, most of you all probably know that you can have loan repayment. Here in the DC area, no, actually for the HRSA is like everywhere. So it's $50,000 if you do a 2-year commitment, and if you work for a federally qualified health center, and you have to apply for that. And then there's also a scholarship program through HRSA for nursing students that will pay if you're doing the program full time. But I have so much to say about the loan repayment that I'm actually going to make that a whole nother video, and we're just going to talk about that. And so yeah, let's revisit that on another video. Number 4, how can you remember everything? So I just would like to say that you don't have to remember everything. There are really important things that you need to know and that you need to remember, of course, and you will remember them. But as a practicing nurse practitioner, you have to know where to find the answers. And when you continually look things up and look things up and look things up, it just gets cemented into your brain. So I'm starting to really surprise myself and shock myself on some of the things I know that I'm able to recall now and that I don't have to look up. And I do still look up a lot of things. Every time I work, I learn something new. but I'm really surprised at all of the things I'm retaining because I do so much research. So you don't have to know everything, but know, reputable sources. Oh my gosh, we're all gonna die. Just kidding. So obviously I'm an actress at heart. I can't help it. So anyway, back to the video. So you don't have to know everything, but know where to find the answers. And most of the things you'll know them, but just know where to find the answers, and know, reputable sources that you can trust to find the answers. Number 5, I am in advanced patho, and it is difficult to retain all of the information. So the advice that I would give for this person is advanced patho can be a monster. That class for me was sort of difficult. You need to invest all of your time and energy in learning and understanding the information. So that would mean that you can't watch your favorite show as much as you used to. You can't go to dinner Saturday night with your lover because you have to study. So, you can't go to that barbecue this weekend. I had to really invest a lot of time into getting that information in advanced pathophysiology. It was not easy. It's not easy. So some of us have to study a little bit harder than others. So know your learning style. If you're a visual learner, I would make little doodles and little pictures while I was learning. So do whatever it takes to understand the information and to just digest it and to read. You have to read it over and over and over again, not to remember it as far as just remembering facts, but understanding it. Because when you understand it, no matter how your instructor words that question, you'll be able to answer it because you understand it. So yeah, I guess that's what I would say about retaining info for pathophysiology. Read, 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 and read. Study, study, study until your brains fall out. That's the only way. And understand it. The last sentence I'll say is completely understand it, and then you will pass the test. And in the long run, that will pay off a lot because it's going to help you down the road with this profession. Next, first year struggles. So let's end at first year struggles. I'm still in the first year of my career as a nurse practitioner, and I would say that the biggest struggle I've had and that I still struggle with is documentation. I am very detailed, and that can be good and it can be bad. I chart too much. I document too much. I mean, is that even possible? I document so much that it takes a long time for me to finish one chart. So what I'm working on currently is documenting facts and just making my HPI and my documentation still detailed, but just a little bit shorter. And I'm trying to finish my charts on the same day that they're open. So the day I see the patient, I'm trying to finish them that day, because sometimes I will chart on the weekends. We have access to our computer system here at home, which can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing, because then you think, oh, I didn't finish my charts today. I'm gonna go home and relax and then I'll finish them later. And then sometimes you end up documenting on the weekends, and you still want to have a life. You don't want to get out of school and then you end up charting all the time, or you end up having 30 and 40 charts to do. So my struggle is documenting and finishing it and being done with it so that when I'm off, I'm off. and I've made some improvements in that area, and I'll have to tell you guys in another video what I've done. But I am getting better at it, and I am getting my charts done, and I'm locking some of my notes a little bit after I see the patient. So that I will master. That is a challenge for me, and I like a challenge, so I'm up for it, and before you know it, that won't be a problem for me anymore. So that's gonna be it for your little chit chat with Lada. I thought this was so cute. Like, it feels like two girls talking, but I have guy subscribers too, so girls and guys talking. Anyway, I am going to go because I'm starving, and I hope you guys have an awesome Sunday. I hope it's sunshiny and summery, springy and warm wherever you guys are out there, because it is raining and it is a thunderstorm here. That is it, and I will be seeing you guys soon. Visit me on my Facebook page, Nurse Lada. Also, leave comments below. Anything you want to see or questions you have for the next Chit Chat with Nurse Lada, leave the questions below. It kind of helps to have them in one place. Or you can leave them on my Facebook page. So that is it, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.